Hey guys, Zexis here, bringing you guys a spear guide. In this guide, I'm going to start off with a basic move overview for spear's moves. We're going to go over each of their uses in neutral. After that, we're going to go over true combos, strings, reads, and finish off with a couple edgeguarding tools. If you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Twitch, Discord, and other social links down in the description. And yeah, let's get into the guide. Okay, so starting off with Spear Nlight. Spear Nlight is going to be your main spacing / poking tool. As you guys see here, it has a lot of range, so it's going to be very good at covering grounded approaches. And it's also super quick to come out. As you guys can see here, kind of lagged a bit there, but it's super quick, very unreactable, which is awesome. The only thing about this move is it has a lot of active frames. So if the opponent baits it out or you miss, it's going to be quite easy for them to punish you. Spear Downlight is going to be Spear's main anti-air tool. So I'll just show you guys real quick. It hits up at an angle and it's going to have a pretty short range. So it's going to get beaten out by a lot of other weapons down airs. This move does have true combos out of it though, and it's going to catch opponents that are on platforms on any map other than Miami Dome. So that's really strong. Another thing about this move is it's going to hit even if the opponent's like the tiniest bit off the ground, which is really good. So things such as Axe and Light, if they did it the wrong way, you'll be able to punish that quite easily. This move is generally going to be used if you have a jump read, like when you approach them, if they're going to jump, or if you have a read on how they're trying to land. Spear Sidelight is going to be one of your main string starters on Spear. As you guys can see here, this move has a very nice hitbox with a bit of a dead area in the middle with no hitbox, and then the second swing hitting a lot higher than the first one. This move is going to be very good to be used as a punish, or if the opponent doesn't have much room to work with, because it does have a lot of active frames and a lot of recovery frames, so it's super easy for the opponent to punish if you miss. Spear Nlight is an attack that covers all the way around the user. This is going to be really important to use in the air because it covers Spear's dead zones of Spear Down Air and Spear Side Air. This means it can be really strong to use it as a punish so you don't whiff your other moves, because it is definitely one of the easier moves to hit. This move can also be used with a dash jump, which is really strong because it's going to hit opponents on the ground as well as in the air. One thing to note with this move though is that once you throw out the neutral air until after the end of the active frames, you're not going to be able to change your momentum. So if I throw out a neutral air, I'm actually not able to move my character until the active frames are finished. Spear Down Air has really good range and is super fast. As you guys can see here, it covers a really great distance. One thing to keep in mind of when you use this move is it's always going to hit the opponent behind you. So if I'm facing to the left, it'll hit the Mordex to the right and vice versa. This move can also be used into itself sometimes. We call it a pogo when you go back and forth like that. And sometimes you can get 2 or 3 of them in a row, which builds up damage quite quickly. This move is really good at covering attacks that come from underneath you. Because of its super good range, it's going to outspace every move in the game basically. It's also going to be really good at covering the ledge because of this, because it's going to be able to stuff a lot of people's recoveries or their neutral airs when they try to defend themselves. Spear Side Air is very fast and does good damage. It does have a smaller hitbox though with a dead zone, so you have to be decently accurate with this move. Unlike Spear Neutral Air, you are able to change your momentum in the air, so if you miss, you're able to like drift backwards so you don't get punished as easily. Spear Recovery is a really good tool. It has a wide hitbox, but it doesn't really have a lot of range, so it can be quite dangerous because a lot of moves can beat it out. This move you can drift in the air though, which is really nice. One thing I like to do with this move is if the opponent's way up in the air, I'll try to get kind of close to them to bait out their options, so they use all their jumps and their dodge, and then I'll get a free recovery on them. Spear Ground Pound is the opposite of Spear Recovery, but with the same type of hitbox. It's the same thing going downwards with a wide but short hitbox, so it will be outranged by a lot of moves vertically. This move can sometimes be used on the stage, but it's super risky because there's a ton of recovery frames, but it can sometimes surprise people. This move is generally used when you hit someone off a stage to get rid of their options, so you're able to go out for a side air or down air or potentially another ground pound to get the knockout. Okay, so we're going to get into the true combos of Spear now. The first one we're going to talk about is going to be a grounded side air into neutral light, which looks like that. There's a couple things about this combo though. The first thing is you're going to need 6 dexterity on your character or above for this one to work. Anything under that is going to be a 1 dodge frame string, which is still super good. Another thing about this combo is after you hit the side air, you have to keep drifting towards the opponent until you're ready to throw the Nlight out. If you don't do that, this will happen where you just stop your momentum and the character that you're trying to attack is too far away. This combo is also going to work from 0 till 60 damage, but for it to work at the higher damages, you're going to have to hit the hitbox closer to you, because if you hit them and they're too far away on your side air, they're just going to be too far away for you to hit. Downlight jump side air is going to work at all damages. This combo is really good because it's going to gain you stage control and you're going to be able to go for edge guards out of it. If you're having trouble with this combo, make sure you're holding towards the opponent throughout your whole combo. So from the downlight all the way through to the side air, if you're holding towards them, it'll definitely help. This combo will definitely take a little bit of practice at first, but it's a really important one to learn. Downlight jump recovery is a really important combo on Spear as well. It looks like this. Now this combo is going to kill at 160 on Shipwreck, which is really important because downlight side air from way over here, or from the middle of the stage anyway, isn't going to kill until like about 200 damage. So you're going to get a lot of way earlier knockouts if you learn this combo. With this combo, you have to hold towards the opponent during the jump recovery. It's just easier if you do it throughout the whole combo, but if you don't, it's just going to whiff just like that since the downlight hits up at an angle. Something to keep in mind though is downlight side air does do 2 more damage than this one, so at low percents, downlight side air is generally the one to go for. So we're going to get into Nlight Read combos in a second, but before we get into that, I wanted to talk about the new way to do double downlight. So before, if the opponent had no dodge and you hit a downlight, you'd be able to go for a gravity cancel downlight like that, but the opponent is now able to jump out of that, but there's a workaround. So after you hit the first downlight, you're going to want to do a really short jump into your gravity cancel downlight. It looks like this. It's still 3 dodge frames, they're not going to be able to jump out of it, and no wake up attack is going to be able to hit you. So this is really important to learn now. Sidelight into downlight jump side air is going to be a 2 dodge frame string, which is really good against lower level players who don't dodge as much, although higher level players are probably going to dodge this, but it still has its use. If the opponent has burned their dodge on the ground, you'll be able to get that combo for free, and if they've burned it in the air, you're going to be able to go for the double downlight combo. Okay, so getting into sidelight dodge reads now, we're going to start off with spot dodge because it's super simple. All you got to do is wait for their spot dodge and then go for double downlight. It looks like this. Pretty easy. The nice thing about this too is, let's say you're in a disadvantaged position here where you don't have control of the stage. After your sidelight, you can actually just go to the other side of them and do the same thing the other way to put yourself in a position to edge guard. Like that. Something I see a lot to cover a dodge in out of Spear sidelight is going to be a backdash into double downlight. Now this is pretty good, but I think there's something better unless you have like complete stage control. I think generally going for a dash into reverse double downlight is better. Now the reason being is it's going to catch a dodge in, it's going to be able to catch a dodge down and in as well, and it's going to be able to catch a dodge up and in. So it has the potential to catch all 3 dodge ins, which is really insane. Something to keep in mind though is that to catch the dodge up and in, at higher percents, the sidelight will have to be very close for it to work. But if you do hit it far, other things you can go for is going to be a recovery, a neutral air, or you can potentially go for a jump into gravity cancel downlight. So there's two different ways to catch a dodge away out of Spear Sidelight and still be able to get your double Downlight combo. The first one is only going to be consistent in lower percents, and it's going to be to walk towards them and then do your double Downlight. The other one is going to be consistent from low to high percent, and it's going to be to wait a second and then dash double Downlight. Now there's reasons to use both of these. The walking version, I'll show you first. With the walking version, from 0 to 60%, you're going to be able to catch a dodge up and away as well, which is super useful. This depends on how close you are though. So the more damage they are, the closer you'll need to be for it to catch the dodge up and away. The dash version is never going to be able to catch the dodge up and away. With dodge down and away, the walking version can catch the down and away at lower percents, so it's able to catch all three depending on how you're spaced, which is super useful. But once you get them to a higher percent, you're gonna need to wait and go for the dash double Downlight. The most optimal thing you can do for every dodge down out of Sidelight is to go for a second Sidelight into your double Downlight combo. Sidelight into recovery is gonna be a really good option to cover all the different up dodges. With up and away dodges though, once they hit a higher percent, if you hit the Sidelight far away, it's not going to catch unless you go for a dash jump recovery, or you also have the option to go for a chase dodge recovery. If the opponent goes straight up, you also have the option to go for a jump gravity cancel Downlight, although this is only really used if you have a hard read on them. Spear Neutral Air is a really good tool out of Spear Sidelight as well, because it can cover many different dodges depending on how you use it. If they do any type of dodge in, you'll be able to hit a jump Neutral Air. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this one is if you do hit your Sidelight really close, it's not going to catch a dodge down and in, but if you hit your Sidelight farther away, with proper timing, it will work. For dodge aways, you're going to want to go for a diagonal chase dodge into Neutral Air. Now this is going to be able to catch every type of dodge away, so this is super strong. Okay, so we're going to go over some options out of Neutral Light now. Out of Neutral Light, a second Neutral Light can be a really good option for covering a dodge in, as well as a spot dodge if you do it with a dash. Nlight into Sidelight can be used against a dodge in, a spot dodge, or a dodge away, and it's going to lead into your double Downlight combo. But for dodge away, you're only going to be able to get one Downlight because they do touch the ground before you're able to get to them. And to do this one, you have to either use your dash or your chase dodge out of your Neutral Light. A diagonal chase dodge into Neutral Air can be used to cover a dodge up, as well as a dodge up and in. Downlight can also be used out of Neutral Light to catch every up dodge or a jump. For dodge away, you're going to have to use a chase dodge to be able to hit the Downlight Sair or Downlight recovery. If you do a dash, it's not going to be able to hit. I quickly wanted to talk about following up out of Neutral Air. Out of Neutral Air, you can go for a side air sometimes, or you can go for a recovery. Now, sometimes when you hit a Neutral Air though, you're not going to want to follow up right away. You're going to want to wait a second, wait for them to use more of their options, and then hit them. One thing that's really good to go for other than pogos on Spear Down Air is going to be a down air into a side air at really high percents. So we're going to get into a bit of basic edge guarding right now. So we're going to talk about down air first. Now, like I said before, down air is really good at covering people's recovery options. It has some really long range, so you can get some early knockouts if you stuff people's recoveries. With this move as well, when people are just wall hugging, something I like to do on certain maps is if I'm standing right here, I'll wait a second, and then by surprise, I'll go down and down air on the wall like that. Ground Pound is also very useful off stage. Its wide hitbox is really good because it's going to knock the opponents farther away, so you're going to be able to look for a follow-up opportunity to secure an easy knockout. One other thing I really like to do with Spear Ground Pound and Spear Side Air is if the Ground Pound hits them into the wall, you can read a jump by going for a jump Sair. You can also go for a gravity cancel jump side air if your ground pound hits them into the wall, but obviously this is a lot more dangerous. One other thing you can do on Spear for edge guarding is called an EggDrop. Looks like this. Now, this is a super useful tool. I'm just gonna quickly rewind it so you guys can see. So it's gonna be a down throw into a pickup down air. So super good. For this to work easier, you're gonna wanna not have your light attack and pickup on the same button. They have to be separated. Sometimes with this combo, the throw is going to hit too close, so you're going to have to jump and down air. It kind of depends on the spacing. But one way you can practice this is if you set the bot to a relatively high damage and set them to dodge down in training room, they're going to go into the same area every time, and you'll be able to practice this easily. For landing back on the stage, Spear has a really big throw hitbox, which makes this a lot easier. So some things you can go for if you're basically out of options is a down throw into side air if they're under you, or a down throw into neutral air. So that's going to be the end of this guide. If you guys learned something, make sure to comment what you learned down below, as well as what other things you want to know more about in this game. Good luck with Spear, and hopefully you guys have a good day. Peace.